the Executive Associate Athletic Director at Tulane University, his alma mater, coming home to Tulane in 2008 after 5 years at Kansas. Prior to that, he worked in athletic administration at Princeton. Tulane will entertain Syracuse in the Dome Saturday evening. I guess that's the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. So please give a New Orleans Quarterback Club welcome to Brandon MacNeil at Tulane University. Brandon.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me today. Tulane University is very appreciative and grateful to be included in this great series for a number of years. I have a few things to talk about. Of course, I will talk about the last couple of weeks, so I'm with you on that one, having to come here then. But there's also a bunch of other things going on with the university, with the athletics program I want to talk about. But since this is the quarterback club, we will start with our football program. Well, we came into this season, our coaches, our players, our administration, with the expectation that we would not only be competitive, but we would be successful, we would get to a bowl, we would compete within our conference. That has not changed. That has not changed within our coaching ranks, within our student athletes, within our administration. We started the season with really a 5-game, 2-3-3, what is that, 8-game schedule. 2 at home, 3 on the road, 3 at home. And really, by the time we finished that stretch, we would know where we're sitting. We started out decent, we split, we won Southeastern, then lost to Tulsa. Then we went on the road for a 3-game stretch, and we started phenomenally. We beat the pants off of UAB, our biggest conference win, I believe, since the conference was formed. And then we went to Duke, and we really struggled there. They've got an incredible quarterback. And then we went to Army, and Army has, for whatever reason, had our number, and they continue to do so. Obviously, they play a little different system, but there's no excuses there. That was really disheartening. However, coming back from Army, the last 2 days, having spent some time with the kids, with the coaches, I can assure you that no one has accepted mediocrity, no one is complacent. Most importantly, the kids have not quit. If anything, they're really pissed off. So hopefully we can get this thing going. Again, we've got a real important stretch here starting Saturday night with Syracuse. Big East foe going into the ACC. It should be it's a better matchup for us, believe it or not, than Army. So hopefully that we can change our tunes there. Now, I am happy to report we are playing at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, where we have never in the history lost. So we're going to continue that. Hopefully we can go 3 straight there. Yes, that's a good one. And now, in addition, even though those last 2 games weren't the greatest scores, you know, on paper it doesn't matter if you lose by 1 or 100. If you're not first, you're last, right? Well, when I just printed out the schedule this morning just to look to see where we are, within Conference USA, if you just look at the overall records at 2 and 3, which is not where we want to be or expect to be, but we're sitting in 5th place. So we are well within the game right now. And speaking just conference record-wise, you've got just inter-league play. You've got 5 winless teams. You've got 6 teams with at least 1 win, and we're one of those. And then SMU is the only one with 2 wins. So we're tied for 3rd in the conference. So we have, the point of that is, even though the scores the last 2 games have not been great, we got to throw that away and look forward. There's a lot of football to be played, and we are right in the mix of everything. A couple other topics that I'm asked about a lot, that's come up a lot. Conference realignment, that's clearly been a real big one. Over the summer, it seems to have calmed down a little bit right now, but if I know anything, that by the time I get out of this luncheon here, something else will have exploded. It's every day there's something different. One reporter says one thing, and so everyone takes that and runs with it, and it just goes on and on and on. My favorite one was we're just going to get the old SEC back together. I supported that, but that didn't seem to get too much traction. It really comes to this. Bill Self, it's a football move. It's clearly a football decision. And Bill Self, who's run a real successful basketball program at Kansas, he was asked about realignment and what his thoughts were and what he'd want to do. And his response was that it didn't matter what he wanted to do. It's a decision of a relative few amount of people. It's going to affect a lot of people. And that's the case. But that certainly doesn't mean that you can sit back and be complacent. And I can assure you that Tulane University is not doing that. Our president, Scott Cowan, and Rick Dixon are intimately involved in this. Rick is actually on our expansion committee for Conference USA. They are out, they are talking to different folks. It's our job to position Tulane University as in the most favorable light possible. And clearly what we have to offer, we're a very prestigious academic school. We're in the greatest city in the country. It's a destination city. And if you haven't noticed, there's a few football players that come out of this state. So we are a very attractive school. We do have the history. We need to turn some things around. We're working on that. Now, there are some schools out there in the country shouting it from the rooftops, they should be here, they should be there. That's really not going to help you with those folks that are making the decisions. Oh, if you don't hear anything coming from behind the walls over there, I can assure you it's not because nothing is being done. They are out and they are about working on it. One of the big ideas lately is a merger between the Mountain West Conference and Conference USA. And the theory is merge those two conferences, figure out a way that there's an overall winner, and that person has a seat at the big boy table. And you're in the conversation. And that means we could walk in any living room in the country and say, if we take care of business, we'll play for a national championship. Now, I don't know if that will happen. Things could change again, but that's certainly a possibility. But Britton Banowski, our conference commissioner, is very widely respected, and I know he's been working on this thing like crazy as well. Another thing I'm asked about a lot is our stadium situation, and we were sitting there. Well, although we're undefeated over here, it's an awful big building for us. And while the Benson family, the Saints, Doug Thornton at SMG, all those guys, they've been phenomenal to work with. They've been great partners with Tulane, great friends. We know that in the big picture, is probably not the best home for us. And so where can we go? Well, there's a number of different ideas, one of which we hear a lot about is on-campus stadium. And is there a footprint large enough to build a stadium on campus? And that's certainly being explored. It's being explored very, very deeply. We hear about, well, if you don't make it big enough, it's not worth doing at all. We are looking, we think that we could get about a 30,000 seat building stuck in there with room for expansion when and if the time ever would present itself. Scott and Rick have been going around the country crisscrossing it for about 8 months now nonstop. And really we're looking forward to hopefully making this fruition. And not only for our program, but for a number of the high school programs in the city and around. That would really, that's going to benefit us as well. It'll benefit the city. There's a lot of positives that come out with it. We'd like to get folks back on campus. We have so many of our alums aren't really from here, and then when they come back, they don't even come back to campus. They go down to the Royal Sinister or the Embassy Suites, and they don't make it back out. So, and then from a student life issue, there's so many different reasons why it would be so beneficial. And we're working very, very hard to make that happen. And when it does, I assure you we will let you know. And then just to finish up, just want to let you know a few things that are going on at Tulane right now over the next couple months. As I said, football, we've got a huge 3-game stretch right now with Syracuse on Saturday night. Then we have UTEP in the following week, and then we've got Memphis for homecoming. And for us, homecoming's a pretty big deal. The Friday night before homecoming, we have our annual, it's our 10th annual Hullabaloo homecoming auction and party. And I don't know if anyone's ever been out to that, but it has blown up the past 3 years. It's amazing. We've got 2 chairs, the Glazer family and the Wisdom family, who have just stepped up dramatically to help us out. And this thing, we've got trips to Europe, Mexico, Hawaii. We've got NOLA Motorsports is doing a deal with us. We've got tickets to any sporting event you can imagine. Mountains of autographed memorabilia for any budget. But I highly recommend you come out for that. It's a really fun event. And then the next day with Memphis, we're taking over Champion Square for the first time. See how that works out for us. We've got a Bag of Donuts, a fan favorite, is going to be playing, jamming out all day. And then hopefully we'll end with the 3 wins in a row there. And then we've got, I'll go quick here, but our 2 basketball programs are about to start up. We are about 3 weeks away from being completely done with our practice facility, which is beautiful. It's got 2 full-size courts. It's got offices, locker rooms for our 3 programs, basketball and volleyball. Women's basketball should be a contender again. They always are. Highlight date is November 19th. We've got our good friends from up the river coming to town. And then men's basketball, Ed Conroy's 2nd year. If you haven't all met Ed, I'm shocked because I think he's met everybody in the city already twice. The guy's infectious with his energy. He's completely transformed this team. I think we have 7 newcomers this year, 2 of which are about a half an inch under 7 feet, and another guy with a 7'4" wingspan. So we're coming off the bus looking as big as any school in the country. Now hopefully we can translate that into a few more wins. Our big home game this year is Georgia Tech on December 4th. So hopefully you can come out for that. And then finally, I just want to thank everybody in the community for supporting Tulane and standing by Tulane. We were dead in the water. We were on life support. And if it wasn't for the community, if it wasn't for our president and our trustees and the NCAA, we wouldn't even have a program at the Division I level right now. And so if this year, for the first time in a long time, we're back to full strength. We've got 16 programs, 300 student athletes, and as we like to say, 1 family. And so I'm so very proud of that fact that we've come through the darkness, and it's time to now move forward. And I know that the results have not always been great, but if you can just step back and look at that big picture to see where we've been and where we are, and now the time is to take that next step. And one of the next steps starts Saturday morning with women's bowling, a new NCAA sport at Tulane. We have our inaugural match against Southern at 9:30 at Rock and Bowl Lanes, so you're all invited to come on out to that. Admission is free. Johnny Blanchard assures me the bar will be open. So then we're there, and then this spring we've got sand volleyball coming online, and then we're done. So thank you for sticking with us. It's been an interesting journey, but I assure you the taste of victory will taste even better as soon as we get this thing done. But thanks so much, and if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to try to answer.
I don't know if you can answer this or not, but where on campus would you all think about putting the stadium? And the other thing is the neighborhood going to have to give their okay?
Yeah, there's a lot that has to go through with it, but that's one of the spots that we're looking at. One of the spots is right back where the practice facilities are, but there's so much that has to go into that. So they're looking at a whole variety of different options.
Next question right here.
You kind of touched on the merger with Mountain West. They did have a meeting in Dallas last week. Do you know what the outcome of that meeting was?
Just that, I think that there's so much going on in the national, everywhere else. They're trying to see what's going on. What is the SEC picking up at 14th? What's going on with the Big East? What's going on with the ACC? So I know our leagues are trying to be proactive in that, but I do not know when a final decision will be made. I just know that, there's been that meeting, there's been a lot more, and there's been a lot of phone calls going back and forth every day.
Anyone else?
All right, thank you very much.